Billions of dollars stolen, thousands of lives ruined, and in some cases, the people responsible simply vanished. Today, we're counting down the 10 most mysterious scammers in history. 10. Charles Ponzi. Long before cryptocurrency scams and fake investment apps existed, there was one man whose name became synonymous with fraud, Charles Ponzi. In 1920, Ponzi promised investors something that sounded impossible, 50% returns in just 45 days. People couldn't hand him their money fast enough. Instead of investing it, Ponzi simply used money from new investors to pay earlier ones. The scheme worked perfectly, until too many people wanted their money back at once. The entire operation collapsed almost overnight. Thousands lost everything. His scam became so famous that over a century later, these types of frauds are still called Ponzi schemes. Ironically, while Charles Ponzi himself was eventually arrested, his idea has survived him, inspiring countless scammers around the world. It wasn't the biggest scam in history, but it changed financial crime forever, and that's why he earns our number 10 spot. 9. Victor Lustig. Imagine someone walking up to you and convincing you to buy the Eiffel Tower. Of course, it sounds ridiculous. Yet one man actually pulled it off. Not once, but twice. Victor Lustig was perhaps the smoothest con artist who ever lived. In the 1920s, he forged official government documents and invited wealthy scrap metal dealers to a secret meeting. He claimed the French government planned to secretly dismantle the Eiffel Tower because maintenance costs were too expensive. One businessman believed every word. He paid Lustig a fortune for the rights to the tower. By the time the victim realized he'd been tricked, Lustig had already fled the country. Embarrassed, the victim never reported the crime. That allowed Lustig to attempt the exact same scam again. He later conned infamous gangster Al Capone out of thousands of dollars without Capone ever realizing he'd been manipulated. His greatest weapon wasn't violence, it was confidence, and few people have ever possessed more of it. 8. Frank Abagnale Jr. Most criminals spend their lives pretending to be someone else. Frank Abagnale turned pretending into an art form. Before turning 21 years old, he allegedly impersonated an airline pilot, a doctor, a lawyer, and even a university professor. Using forged checks and fake identities, he traveled across dozens of countries while living a life most people could only dream about. Authorities from multiple nations searched for him. Eventually, they caught him in France. But here's where the story takes an unexpected turn. Instead of spending the rest of his life behind bars, Abagnale later began working with law enforcement and businesses to help prevent financial fraud. His incredible life inspired the hit film Catch Me If You Can. Whether every detail of his story is true has been debated over the years, but one thing is certain, very few scammers have ever become legends while still alive. 7. Simon LEVIEV, the Tinder swindler. Now imagine meeting the perfect partner online. They fly you on private jets, stay in luxury hotels, wear designer watches worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, and seem to have unlimited wealth. That was the illusion created by Simon LEVIEV. Claiming to be the son of a billionaire diamond tycoon, he showered women with expensive experiences before telling them that dangerous enemies were after him. He would say his bank accounts had been frozen for security reasons, then ask his victims to take out loans or open credit cards in their own names. Believing they were helping the man they loved, many did exactly that. By the time they realized the truth, he was already charming someone else. The story exploded worldwide after the release of the Tinder Swindler documentary. Although he has faced legal issues, many victims are still waiting to recover their money. His case proved that in today's world, sometimes the greatest disguise isn't a fake passport. It's a carefully crafted social media profile. 6. John RUFFO. Imagine being convicted of stealing hundreds of millions of dollars, then disappearing just days before you're supposed to go to prison. That's exactly what happened with John RUFFO. In the 1990s, RUFFO masterminded a bank fraud scheme worth more than $350 million, making it one of the largest financial frauds in American history at the time. After being found guilty, he was released on bail while waiting to report to prison, but he never showed up. Instead, he withdrew cash, rented a car, and vanished. When authorities believe he boarded a flight to New York before disappearing completely. Years later, investigators thought they had finally found him after surveillance cameras captured a man resembling RUFFO at a baseball game. But by the time they investigated, the trail had gone cold once again. More than 2 decades later, he's still one of America's longest-running white-collar fugitives. Whether he's living under a new identity or died years ago remains a complete mystery. 5. GERALD COTTEN. Bro, imagine trusting someone with your life savings, only for them to suddenly die, taking the passwords to hundreds of millions of dollars with them. That's the mystery surrounding GERALD COTTEN. Cotten was the founder of Quadriga CX, once Canada's largest cryptocurrency exchange. In 2018, while traveling in India, he reportedly died unexpectedly at just 30 years old. Soon after, customers discovered that roughly $190 million worth of cryptocurrency could no longer be accessed. According to the company, COTTEN was the only person who knew the passwords to the digital wallets. No passwords, no money. The story immediately sparked countless theories. Did he really die? Or did he fake his own death and disappear with the money? Investigations later found serious financial misconduct at the exchange, but the biggest question remains unanswered. Was Gerald COTTEN a victim of bad luck, or the architect of one of crypto's greatest mysteries? 4. Bernie Madoff. Some scammers fool a handful of people. Bernie Madoff fooled the financial world. For decades, Madoff built a reputation as one of Wall Street's most respected investors. Celebrities, charities, banks, even experienced financial experts trusted him with their money. Behind the scenes, however, there were no incredible investments. It was one enormous Ponzi scheme. New investors' money was simply used to pay earlier investors, creating the illusion of consistent profits year after year. When the 2008 financial crisis hit and too many people wanted their money back, the entire operation collapsed. Authorities estimated the fraud at nearly $65 billion on paper, making it the largest Ponzi scheme ever uncovered. Unlike others on this list, Madoff didn't disappear. He was arrested and later died in prison. But his story serves as a chilling reminder that sometimes the biggest scams don't look suspicious at all. Sometimes they look completely legitimate. Bro, the next 3 entries become even stranger because, unlike Madoff, these people either vanished completely or were never truly identified. 3. D.B. Cooper. If there was ever a scam that became one of history's greatest mysteries, this is it. In 1971, a man using the name D.B. Cooper boarded a commercial flight carrying nothing more than a briefcase. Once the plane was in the air, he handed a flight attendant a note claiming he had a bomb. Cooper demanded $200,000 in cash and 4 parachutes. His demands were met. After releasing the passengers, the plane took off once again, then somewhere over the forests of the Pacific Northwest. Cooper lowered the rear staircase, grabbed the ransom, and jumped into the night. Despite one of the largest investigations in FBI history, he was never found. No confirmed identity, no body, no answers. More than 50 years later, people are still trying to figure out who D.B. Cooper really was. 2. RUJA Ignatova, the crypto queen. Imagine creating a company that promises to replace Bitcoin, convincing millions of people to invest, then disappearing with billions of dollars. That's exactly what RUJA Ignatova allegedly did. She founded OneCoin, promoting it as the future of cryptocurrency. Lavish events, luxury lifestyles, and powerful speeches convinced people around the world that they were buying into the next financial revolution. But behind the scenes, there was no real cryptocurrency. Experts later revealed that OneCoin lacked of a genuine cryptocurrency and operated as a massive fraud. By the time authorities closed in, an estimated $4 billion or more had already disappeared. Then in October 2017, RUJA boarded a flight from Bulgaria. She has never been publicly seen again. Some believe she underwent plastic surgery. Others think she escaped with the help of organized crime. 10. The Nigeria Prince scam. This one isn't famous because it was clever. It's famous because almost everyone has seen it. One day you open your email and find a message from someone claiming to be a prince or a wealthy businessman. They tell you they have millions of dollars locked away. And for some reason they have chosen you to help move the money. All they need is a small payment to cover taxes, legal fees, or transfer costs. It sounds ridiculous. And that's exactly why most people ignore it, but not everyone does. This scam, commonly known as the 419, has existed for decades and has stolen millions of dollars from victims around the world. The scammers don't need everyone to believe them. They only need one person. Once the victim sends the first payment, another fee appears, then another, and another. Before long, thousands of, or even tens of thousands of dollars are gone. And the promised fortune never arrives. The scary part isn't that these emails still exist. It's that they've evolved. Today, they're sent through text messages, dating apps, social media, even fake job offers. The story changes, but the psychology never does. Create urgency, build trust, promise something extraordinary, then disappear with the money, because in the end, the greatest scammers don't steal with weapons, they steal with hope. That brings us to the end. If you aren't satisfied and want even more, let me know in the comments. I'm going to turn this into a full series, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out. Ladies and bros, thanks for watching.